So the UK is kind of weird. We make weird things like crumpets and this dessert called Spotted Dick, which I know isn't the best name for a dessert in 2019, but it is delicious. And we also do weird things like queue for literally everything, and when someone cuts in, we don't say anything except "Chugh," even though it's like the most rude thing you can do in all of British culture. But most importantly to this video, we're also the only country in the world that starts its tax year on the 6th of April. Why? Why is it such a specific date, and why is it not, say, January 1st, which is when a lot of developed countries start their tax year? Well, the reasons are vast and include such topics as religion, physics, and Great British stubbornness, and it all starts way back in 1582. So up to 1582, the majority of the world was using what was called the Julian calendar to keep track of dates. For the most part, this calendar was exactly the same as the calendar we use today, the Gregorian calendar, except for the way it calculates leap years. Under the Julian calendar, a leap year happens every 4 years without exception, whereas the Gregorian calendar has a leap year every 4 years except where the year is evenly divisible by 100, but if the year is evenly divisible by 400, then it's still a leap year. Yeah, I didn't know that either, to be honest. This difference makes the Gregorian calendar much more accurate and far better at keeping track of the solar year, which is the amount of time it takes the Earth to go around the sun. By 1582, the inaccuracy of the Julian calendar had gotten so bad that it was now 10 days behind where it should have been, and so something had to be done. Enter Pope Gregory XIII of Bologna. Yes, the same place that makes the sauce. It was our boy Gregory who ordered the change to the Gregorian calendar, and this was quickly adopted by a number of Catholic countries across Europe, except the Kingdom of England. At the time, the tax year in England began on Ladies' Day, which is March 25th, and due to England being newly Protestant thanks to a king who was really insistent about things like divorces and executions, Protestant England decided not to change to a calendar declared by a Catholic pope. And so the two calendars continued to be used across Europe and England until 1752, where the Julian calendar was now 11 days out of sync with the solar year and the Gregorian calendar, which pretty much all of Europe was now using. And so in September of 1752, Britain finally decided enough was enough and went Gregorian, adding 11 days to the current date in order to synchronize things. To be clear, the date literally jumped forward 11 days from when it was implemented on September 3rd, so instead of September 3rd, it actually just became September 14th instead. This made September that year 19 days long in total, and probably came at the cost of a few birthdays. In order to prevent any issues arising from a shorter tax year, Britain decided to push the start of the tax year back by 11 days to April 5th. It stayed on April 5th until 1800, when another adjustment had to be made, because 1800 is a leap year in the Julian calendar but isn't one in the Gregorian calendar, and so a day's worth of tax would have been lost from a British perspective. Britain then decided to shift the start of the tax year to April 6th and treat it as a leap year for tax purposes, even though it wasn't one on the actual calendar, and it's remained there ever since, with no plans to move it anytime soon. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you did enjoy it, please consider giving it a like or maybe even subscribe for some more financy videos in the future. You can also follow @actuallywhatthefinance on Instagram for some somewhat daily posts covering financial or economic trivia, including points that I didn't have time to cover here. But in any case, you have a fantabulous day, and I'll see you next time.